G'day guys, just going to make a little video today. I've been playing with the Highbanker a little bit. I've had it out a few times and decided just to try one of these, try making one. It's a wraparound for the header box rather than using a spray bar. Now with your spray bar, obviously if I had a petrol pump, I could put some slots in and get it to spray without losing water volume with a bilge, then I would, but unfortunately you just don't have the pressure you do with a petrol pump. So what I've done, got one of these T-pieces here, which fortunately had a thread in it. Next to that, just some reducers, reducing into this small pipe. I found these, they're a 25mm clip for an electrical conduit. So I got a couple of those, and I found some little stainless steel, I've got a screw head there, but a little nut. They fit perfectly inside those things. Another angle, and then I don't know, these 45 angles I put on it. So I've just got it set up, running it into the pan and into a tub. 2,000 gallon pump with a car battery. Now none of this is glued together at this stage. This is just testing. I will end up gluing nearly everything, except for what I've got here is a little bit of that tubing in this, and I'll glue the tubing into one of these ends, either there or here, most probably into this part, and then I'll be able to put a 90 or use one of these 45s. And with this I can, it's going to be tight, but I should be, maybe that one's a bit too tight. Swing around to this one. But what I can do is adjust this angle, so I can have them pointing down, pointing up. Now I'm hoping that with the 45s, this one should be shooting out here somewhere, that one should be shooting out there and crossing over. What I am going to feed into it is from this bucket here. Now these are concentrates that I've brought home with me pretty much nearly every trip that I've gone out, just from the either the Highbanker or the river sluice or panning, just the cons that just build up. So there may be gold in there. I know there's gems, I know there's black sand, I know there's plenty of heavies. So what better material to use than your heavies? And obviously see how this spray bar works, and then make any fine adjustments that I need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run all those heavies. I'll capture them into the pan just to keep them away from the pump, and then I'll just end up chucking them back in the bucket and go through them one day for some gems. But what I'll do, I haven't got anything up here, I haven't got the reverse ripple, I have absolutely nothing in there, because I want to see what the mat captures. I'm set at 11 degrees. Once I do that little run, and it's not much, you should be able to see there's not a lot in that bucket, but once I do that, and then I'll clean the mat out, and I'll put another mat in. This is a microcell mat, and obviously you probably want to run this thing with less water, But I just want to see how it actually works. See what happens when you, I think you're meant to screen everything down and get your super fines to run through there. But this is a mat that was actually for a gold cube that I've cut in half. So we'll see how that works. And see what happens. What I'll do, I haven't even, you probably should be able to tell that it's dry. Haven't run any water through this at all. I will turn the pump on. What I'll do, I'll set this thing up here. Set up like that there. I'll turn the pump on and then make some adjustments with this water flow and then feed this stuff through. Oh, I'm just going to get another battery, and that may be flat. I know my other ones are charged. It's the old car battery I used to use. I haven't charged it for a while. I'll get another battery and see if that increases the water flow. Hasn't really increased the flow. Not how I'd expect. I'm going to have to refill this thing and just change the way I'm doing it. Right, not completely happy with how the water's coming out there. I did feed that bucket of cons through. Just some of the larger rocks that got stuck. Now I'm thinking I'm going to have to get something else to jam into those ends, just to reduce it a bit more, just to build up a bit of pressure to get it to spray up a bit higher. At first I thought it might have been the battery, but you should be able to see there that there's plenty of water flow, and it's reasonably even across there. I am going to eventually run a bit of mat up there, but that's for another thing that I've got to make, and that's for another time. This was more just to see how this spray bar was working, and also to run some material. So I'm reasonably happy with how it's coming out of there, except for I really should have reduced it again to a bit smaller. I'll just get a couple more fittings to do that. I'll turn this thing off. We'll have a look and just see what's going on. So the mat's pretty full of heavies, and I expected that's what it'd be full of, but you should be able to see right there some of the garnets that are still in there. There's ironstone. Should be able to see garnets in there. They stand out in the right light, nice and red and bright. Try and get right up to the top here to have a look at the mat. You know, normally if you're going to capture some gold, it's going to sometimes get caught right up the top edge there. Now I'm not really seeing anything. Yeah, not really seeing anything at all up there. Alright, I'm going to leave that here. What I will do now is get a couple more fittings. I'll take this mat out. I'll replace it with this smaller mat. And see what happens. See how that goes. Alright, quick little trip up to Bunnings. So what I've got is some more connectors, just to reduce it down a little bit more. Haven't turned it on yet. So what I did as well, cleaned out the mat. And they're the cons that I got from the mat. Haven't panned them back, haven't done anything. If we can see some nice big chunky black sand in there as well. Not just the little fine stuff you get sometimes in your pan. And what I've done is I have placed the micro cell mat there, which initially was, I think I did say, from the gold cube, or it was for the gold cube, and I cut it in half. And I believe there will be a new product coming that extends a mat that is made for the 6-inch that goes all the way to the bottom. Alright, I'll turn this pump on and we'll see if I get a bit more pressure than I was getting before. Alright. That's much better. Just adjust these a bit just so that they're not actually hitting. But you can see there, that's going all the way to the top. So when you shovel it in, that'll stir it all up and create a bit of commotion. I'll just turn this off and I'm going to try something else. I've got some other little black little connectors that have got a tiny hole in them. Just interested to see what happens. And then I'll run those cons and see what this next mat actually captures. Alright, screwed the black connectors on. Let's see what happens. Well, there you go. The kids are laughing at me. As I said, this stuff isn't glued. Eventually, all of it will be glued except for the adjustment that I was talking about here so that I can angle these down. Alright, try it again. Hopefully it doesn't blow off. Alright. That's more of a jet. And that's reducing it a little bit too much. Alright, I'll turn it off, I'll go back to the way it was. And as you can see, see the amount of water that's going through there? And that's the issue you have with a bilge pump. The issue is, you reduce it too much, you try and get too much pressure out, you reduce the amount of water. Not only by like reducing this too much, trying to lift the water up too high. That can create dramas as well and drop of water. So I've taken those little black connectors off. I'll click it in and then I'll film at the front and you can see how much the water increases just by doing that. Now I'm hoping you don't want to hear that. That's me pump just going stupid. Alright, I'm going to have to chuck a little bit more water in. And then I'll start this up and feed this thing through and see what happens. Alright, what I'll do is I'll feed that pan through and hopefully you're going to be able to see the stuff coming down through the mat. Alright, switch the water off. Yeah, and that looks reasonably full. I'll throw what's left out of this mat. We'll see if we've captured any gold. Now there may not be any at all. These are cons that I've panned and then just chucked in that bucket. I'll just keep them there. It's for a bit of fun, just to get the gems out more than anything. But see if I've missed some gold. Alright guys, just to show you some gold. Hoping you are seeing that. I'll try and keep this a bit stiller. Here we go. Now, that is super fine gold. A lot of it's from Reedy Creek. Just trying to show you, I've lost some down there, but there's a fair, there's a fair few specks there. Fair few little specks. Now, this isn't from the mat. This is everything that was caught above the mat in the sluice. I'll pan the mat out and we'll see what that's actually caught. Alright, just quickly show you. That's all the cons that were caught in the mat. The pan before that was everything that sort of was underneath the mat, in behind the bracket of that holds the mat down. I'll pan this out and we'll see some colour. There's a little bit more in here. I don't know how much more, but I did see some flakes of gold. Alright guys, I'm trying to pan this stuff out. It's so fine, but I'm hoping you can just see how much gold's there. Now, as I said, this is stuff I've panned before. These are cons that I take home. What I find, especially when you go somewhere like El Dorado or Reedy Creek, your gold's fine, super fine, and you can pan out maybe a quarter of what you've caught for the day of this super fine gold, because eventually it does add up. Sorry, this video is probably going to go for a little bit too long, but just trying to show you, like, I don't pre-rehearse any of this stuff. I don't like, oh yeah, I'll try this and then I'll show it. I thought I'd make a video that while I'm trying, while I'm making mistakes, just showing what I'm doing and how I get to where I got, especially with the spray bar and all that sort of stuff. But I'll snuff that up and then leave this for another day to maybe run through the mat again. The other thing I did capture, I'll just drop this in, is it's like a little tiny lead shot. Probably able to see some gold just there, right in the center there. It's just floating slowly away. Haven't put any jet dry or dishwashing liquid or anything to break the water tension in this. But yeah, so I'd hate to count all those little tiny little bits. Like, there's a little bit of gold there. It's not, look, it's not going to weigh up to anything exciting, but you can just see how much that little mat captured of what I've lost, of stuff that I've panned. And I sit here with this little blue pan because I find it the best for me to see the gold, and sit there and just do a tablespoon or teaspoon at a time, and just sort of sit back and relax. You can spend, you've got limited time where you're out prospecting and getting materials. I capture the cons, I throw them in a bucket and I do them at home. It's so much easier and it gives you more time to concentrate. Obviously, you do a quick pan, check that you are on the gold and you're still getting gold. But I just do the cons at home. So much easier. You got more time at home to do it. 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. But look, I hope you've enjoyed it. Any comments, much appreciated. Yeah, till the next time, I'll see you all later.